not to pack the C4 in the trunk.
You know me, I live on the explosive edge.
I detonate it with this cell phone. Wait, or is it this cell phone? Ah, fuck. Somebody call Domino's. 3, 2, 1. Hey, folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G.
Our guest for today is Damien Duque.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Nice to have you
Doing
back,
good.
bro. It's been
a pleasure.
a minute.
It's been like what? It's gonna be episode.
This is episode 27.
This is episode 26.
26. Shit.
We had you on episode 4.
Wow.
4, I think. 4 or 5.
I believe it's 4 or 5 months ago when I.
And for the people that have not picked it up yet, people watching, we brought him back because he has more to talk about. But we also brought him back because when we shot him the first time, video that is, the recording that is, there was no video available. So we now have him on video, so you can see
my secrets.
Whoa, I got dark real quick. I was gonna go with a pretty face, but okay. Yeah. So now this is the man behind the music.
It's been revealed. My face, my pedals, my
Yep.
my mess. Yeah.
So today we're actually gonna have a really interesting podcast episode, and it's gonna be very different, if I can say that. Should I just go right into it and say it? Or?
I think the fact that we have a guitar sitting in the corner pretty much gives the trick away, man.
Right here.
That's not decoration, folks. Damien
it's
is
not cardboard. It's not. It's a real thing. Yeah. It's Epiphone. That's Paul. It's a real thing. Yeah. No cardboard involved or anything like that.
Definitely.
He's lying. It's all cardboard. It's all cardboard. It's people. It's made up. No. But
Wait, you didn't do the whole introduction.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you did, right?
I did. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this up front because I know some of you beautiful people don't listen to the end of the episode. If you would like to find the audio version of this podcast, look at shoutengine.com/Bouncing Brains. We are available on YouTube at Bouncing Brains and Facebook at Bouncing Brains Podcast. We have a group. You can talk to us. Also, you can reach out to us at bouncingbrainspodcast@gmail.com. Now that that's out of the way.
You forgot
what?
Google Play Store and Stitcher.
Yeah. I hear tell from ancient myth that we may be on the Google Play Music app or something of... I'll tell you what, first one of y'all that finds the motherfucker, we'll give you we'll sign some shit. Just let us know where the fuck it is, man.
You should all sign to like Spotify though to include that one.
We tried doing that, but the issue with Spotify was the URL that they require a web page. Which is the one that requires a web page?
I believe it was the Google Store or Google Play that required a web page.
No, because we're on the Google Play Store.
Well, no. Here's the thing: we're available through the app. We're not like you can't go to the Google Store and like search for us. Like it's,
so what happened with Spotify? Something happened with Spotify because we both looked into it, and I think we said, "Oh shit, we need to do that first." I just don't remember what that thing was.
I know iTunes was having some issue. I don't remember what it was with Spotify that was giving us a little bit of hassle.
Well, since we have you here and since you have your music on Spotify, maybe you can give us some pointers on how you got it and how they let you in the door and shit.
It's really.
you don't have to do it now. I was just saying at some point we'll get into
the whole. Yeah.
First thing you want to do is bribe. Beep. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm on CD Baby. There's like different types of websites you can get your music or your podcasts. Around Spotify, iTunes. I know they do something for cheap services. It's called DistroKid. for musicians who wants to like.
I've heard of that. I've just never looked into it.
It's a very cheap streaming services where you have to pay $10 for a year to upload your tracks on Spotify, iTunes. Very unlimited plan and no restrictions.
So it's like an Anchor type of service.
No, Anchor's basically free, man. The only issue with Anchor is they kind of own some of your content. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Wait, are we? Oh, we're not on Anchor yet. We have to. We got to upload to there. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtains. Here's a question for you. What? All right, you got an album that just came out.
Yes, it's Hymns of a Voyage Wonder. Yeah.
Okay, and the last time we had you on, it was a couple weeks before it was supposed to come out.
It was released. I know the split album I did with my Russian friends.
So wait, since the last time we've been here, you released 2 albums?
No. The last time I was here, I was going to release the new album, Hymns of a Voyage Wonder.
Okay.
And then it was like 2 weeks before. And then after that, it's where everything was released.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, and then after that, I think 2 months, 3 months, I released like a split album with, of course, my Russian friends, and that's where everything goes over there. And yeah, basically. So
wait, hold on. You're throwing me off. Your Russian friends? What's that?
Russian friends. Like they contact me and they want to do like a split album.
Oh, you're talking about like real your Russian friends.
My Russian friends.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was the name of an album or something. So you have Russian friends?
Yeah, I have Russian friends who does the ambient.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You can't just go past that like it's nothing. So I'm sorry because I'm intrigued by that shit because you know how relations with Russia and U.S. We're not gonna go into all of that, but
that's hilarious.
Anyway,
Freddy loves buzzwords.
Yeah. Anyway, so your Russian friends, you met these people. I mean, you don't have to give us the whole story, but
the social media. I mean, social media.
Music link up. Like, hey, I do.
No, not music link up. It's much more of a social media, Facebook Messenger type where. I know I discovered the music, and I fell in love with the project, and they listened to my music as well, and we just collaborated, we just communicate, whatever.
And how long have you been working with them or known them or what have you?
This one Russian friend, his name he's under Desolate Horizons. I met him to the same social media. I think it was 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, I met him, and the other one, I think the same year as well, the other Russian member as well. So there's two projects, but 2-person thing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's because it's one man band. It's like one is Desolate Horizons, there's another Russian ambient, and then the other one's called It Rain in the Northern Amora or something like that. Another member.
But you've never met these people.
Oh no, it's all Messenger, all that stuff in there.
No,
and how did y'all collaborate? Was it like did they record an MP3, shoot it?
Yeah,
to you,
they will record they will send me files, and like they will send me their songs. They contribute, and I'll just send them my songs to them, so that way we can just like release the whole our songs in one album, which is a split album. So that way they can share it on their own Bandcamp or their own community, their like fans, and then I'll share, whatever. Just
now, did you get significant traction, like as far as fan base and sales? I mean, we don't gotta go into details because I don't like to talk about people's pockets, but like as far as fan base and significant sales, did you get like quite a bit of traction from that, or not really?
Not really. Majority is like, I just put it like we all of us agreed to put in a Bandcamp website. There's an option where you buy a digital like free name your price donation, name your price selection, or you just pay strictly where we set up $2 for a digital album to download it. So we just decided to do a name your price option, and there's some people who put in $2, $4, $5, and I mean it's up to them which money.
And then do y'all have like an actual? And again, you don't have to go into details. I just want to know like the overview. But like, do y'all have like some kind of contractual agreement to where like the profits are split, or how does that work?
I think we talk about it a little bit, but with that, we going back to where the song files and everything, we upload the whole tracks. Like for example, my Russian friend has his tracks, and I give him my tracks for this split album, and we'll upload it in their own Bandcamp. Upload it in my own, where there's like other songs of them and my songs in there, and then other Russian friend will do the same thing, but everyone has to. I mean, it's a different fan base, so they'll like,
No, but I got that part. But what I mean is, like, as far as the splitting of the sales go, like, like, is there like a contractual agreement?
Oh no, it's basically just just open. I mean, we have talked a little bit, but like it's nothing like we had to split it. You had to split this, or I mean, we just free, or something like that.
I kind of want you to get me out of that loop because I don't know exactly what you mean. Like, so they just kind of take what they want and you take what you want.
Like we just like if it's gonna be only digital, like for Bandcamp, I mean that's their own. Like even though like other fans pay this and that, this amount of money, but if I'm gonna make physical copies, then the agreement comes in and be like, okay, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make 10 CDs and I'm gonna sell it, or I might make another pack, a stack, and I'll send it to you. And I'm just I'm doing the, how do you say this? I don't know. It's just something. It's something that we. I don't know. It's something like that.
I take it there's a lot of good faith involved in this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah,
that's what I'm like banking on because I'm still not in the clear.
Right.
But like what I'm getting from what you're saying, it's basically you're working on good faith. What I mean is you're working on good faith that they won't screw you over.
Right.
Because if they wanted to, technically they can.
Well, all right. What's up? Well, yeah.
Sounds like communism to me.
I don't know. Everyone's different. I mean,
there's nothing like. I'm not telling you this. I'm not telling you this to like scare you off.
No,
or like push you off of like what you actually. I mean, what I'm saying is, if it works for you and it's been working for you, then great.
Right.
But I'm just saying because, like, I think we've had this conversation, me and you, off air a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, but I used to work with music, and I got to the point where I recorded a couple of mixtapes.
Right.
And I actually got to sell. So, like, off of like some collaborations and joint mixtapes that I did, like, I did it like that at the beginning because I didn't know shit about contracts. I didn't know shit about agreements. I mean, all I knew was how to make music and how to record it and how to put it out.
Basically, like, I mean, I don't cater for contracts or sales where like, oh, we gotta split this or cater for the money. No, it's just like, you know what? I want to just create a split album or a collaboration. It's just like we create art together and just, I mean, that's how we do it. Just do it, like create and then sort of like release it and we'll see how that goes. I know many people have donated and whatever amount they donated, even though there's even though it's the same album, split album, but it's released in different band camps, different things. So that's their fan base. I have my own fan base. They have their own fan base, and everyone has.
Am I understanding you right? It's the album's available both through yours and through theirs.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That would. Yeah. That makes sense to me. It's like we can all use it the same way, but if my fans are willing to pay more, then I will get a little bit more.
Yeah, or like for example, like Sean, like I released a split album under City of Dawn Bandcamp. Mm-hmm. You receive a notification, and then you will listen to the album, and then you'll donate like $4.
Right.
And Freddy would be like, oh, like he's a fan of Desolate Horizons. So he got a notification from an email, and he listens to it, and then he'll donate money to that artist because he has heard of that artist, not mine, but like has subscribed their Bandcamp thing.
And I get that part. Like that's completely clear to me.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Like, let me paint a picture. So say that you do the same collaborate effort with another artist, but say that you do it here, like locally, and say that you decide to go on a short tour with this artist, you know, to Dallas or whatever, and you go on tour. And then, of course, on tour, you're going to sell your music and you're going to sell your merch. But as far as the music, like the CDs and whatever that you're selling at the shows. So you have the collaborative CD, which is the same one that with the other artists that you're touring with, and you're both selling. Like how does that work? Like, are you gonna sell it also for $7 and they're gonna sell it for $8, just because it's going through their source?
I mean, I'm not. What you're saying, like split albums, like
when
that,
you do a split,
like
album.
locally or
locally.
If it were that to happen, then we need to make an agreement where, you know, okay, we had to set up this price, no higher than that. I mean, it's locally, then it's much easier, you know, I mean, because you're making physical albums, and if we want to plan something out, like I know like the others, like overseas, I mean, it's much different, but like if we're talking about locally, then it's like a different, you know, combinations and agreements and all that. And
I wanted to give you that picture because now I see you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And that's why I understand the overseas parts, and then internationally it's a little different. But I wanted to give you that picture so you can understand, and as to how when you sell the physical or digital copies overseas, and then like Sean was saying, I think you touched on it. If you sell that split album at two different prices, and they make more money or you make more money or whatever, like that's kind of.
Well, no, what I was getting at was basically if they're getting more of a response from their fans, that doesn't play into what Damien's getting.
Right.
That's
I mean,
and I get that.
Right. You got your account. They got their account.
Got their own, and it's their fan.
It just depends on which bucket they want to throw the money.
Yeah, basically. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like your comedians, like for example, like Sean has like 5,000 followers, or they come to your show. It's the same thing. And Freddy has like,
well, it's a little bit different because if we're both at the same show and it's
or
like,
different, I don't know.
I don't care who you came to see. You're in the audience. We're splitting the check at the end of the night. I mean, granted,
not really.
Headliner always gets more,
that's
but
what I was gonna say. Like in our case, it would depend who's headlining. Like if I'm opening for Sean. And Sean's the headliner, Sean's gonna get a bigger check.
Yeah, because he's a headliner.
Regardless, you know what I'm saying? And I can't be like, well, Sean, you know, off that check, you gotta give me some too, because you know it doesn't work that way. Because
now, with that being said, there are a lot of headliners that take their own features and openers, and they specifically pay them out of their own.
Oh, but the thing is that that's what I'm saying. But when that happens, they get paid like a flat fee, and normally when they get paid that way, the headliner only pays them like it's a small fee, as opposed to getting paid directly from the promoter. I mean, that's where the big chunk is gonna come from.
I mean, that's kind of an incentive, is you give the headliner a little bit more money instead of being like, oh, well, I'll give you $300. It's like, here's
what I'm saying is, like in our case, wouldn't you feel kind of funny if you were the headliner, right? And you're gonna do a 45-minute set. I'm the opener. I do a 15-minute set, and then you go. They pay you your money. I go, and I tell the promoter, this is my price, and then but I get paid more than you, and you were the headliner.
That would never happen. That would never happen.
But that's the example that I'm trying to give you. That it's like, again, for us, it would be kind of weird because it's like it doesn't work that way.
Okay, what I was
well,
getting from your questioning was more and maybe it was the way you phrased it at the beginning, was it seemed like y'all were putting it out as a collaborative album under the same, like, here's the link to the album, instead of being, you're both putting it out under your own pages and profiles, I guess, on these hosting sites. Now, let's get away from the cash for a little bit. Is this the first time you've done a collaborative work?
The split album, no, it's not my first time. I've done.
Let me clarify that a little bit. Remotely, that way, where you're never seeing the other guys. They're sending you files, this is something you've.
I've done that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I've done it like many times with that. Whenever many people want to do a split album, or collaborative. Yeah, so they'll send me all this online.
So
files.
is it safe to say that you've done more split albums like that than locally?
Yeah, mostly overseas or even the United States, where like anywhere from California and Baltimore is going to be the upcoming in Baltimore, and basically around there. Not even here locally, but like somewhere in the United States and
Holy
overseas.
shit, that's crazy.
But there's more upcoming split albums that I'm going to be releasing this year, so hopefully we'll get to that, and more collaborative album as well. So yeah. But mostly the collaborative album will be here in Texas. But other than that, no
And
local.
how long have you been recording and releasing and charging money for this music, for these records that you put out? Like more or less how long? That you've actually recorded, put out, and got paid for. The amount of money doesn't matter, just that you receive monetary,
like physical copies
or digital or whatever.
Depending though. Let's see here.
How long have you felt comfortable charging people money?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like digital, like Bandcamp, I mean, I don't really care about cash. I just care like, okay, I want you guys to listen to this album, and that's it. Just download it. Name your price, whatever. Put donations, and see what happens. I just want people to listen, to download, spread the word, and just do it. I mean, just listen. And of course, going with the physical copies, that's where it takes some money. If I'm going to go, I mentioned, I went to a tour, Dallas and Austin, last 3 weekends ago, and I have to, of course, I got my physical copies of the whole album I released, and I've been selling it for like $10. So that way, of course, physical copies to get it to make it, and also to distribute or whatever. Of course, it costs money. So I mean, I can't make it free for physical copies. I can't. But digital and Bandcamp, it's fine, whatever. But like physical copies, no, because it really
you invest money.
Yeah, I invest money. I know the Hymns of a Voyage Wonder, the new album was. I did something different besides the homemade. I was experiment on the application of the CD, and it was a DigiPack format, and it's from a CD something of Easy Disc website, very cheap manufacturer, and I was experimenting on all the DigiPack formats, and I'm a big fan of it, and yeah, I would do some of that. And I think it's somewhat the same price as you were making the homemade copies, other than the DigiPack, making like let them print in and have their own whatever.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
do you have artwork with the album? Are the liner notes and that kind of stuff?
Liner notes, booklets, everything. Yeah, it's there.
Now, is that something that you've got standardized between you and the other collaborators, or is it just kind of like you do your own, I'll do my liner notes? I mean,
that's sometimes like some collaborators, musicians, like they want to do their own stuff, write their own information and whatnot. It's up to them. So we just have a conversation, and just talk about like, okay, should I write the bio? Should I write this? Should I write that in the track list or whatnot? Either they do their own. It's open. I don't really strictly do like, oh, I'll do this. Or do the track list, whatever. Everyone has their own parts or job and everything. So
Okay.
I don't want them to feel like I'm doing everything, and of course,
I'm going to take a shot in the dark and guess that they speak English.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know they don't speak perfect English, and even in the text, but I know what they meant. I know they meant like this subject and that subject, but I know sometimes I will like what he meant by that subject, what he meant by that sentence, but like I kind of like reread the whole conversation, and it's not really hard to
that just comes to show, man, when it comes to music and a lot of the times comedy where you make people laugh, like language is not a barrier, man. I've noticed that.
Comedy, physical comedy. I mean, there's a reason everybody loves Charlie Chaplin, man. I mean, the motherfucker, you see it, he does the thing, you go, that's funny.
Yeah.
Nobody's, granted, man, there are a lot of people who English is not their first language that love George Carlin, but to appreciate George Carlin, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen people who've been speaking English their entire life that can't fathom some of that shit, man. They just can't parse the.
Oh yeah, because a lot of Carlin's comedy, like it's type of comedy that actually makes you like you have to pay attention. Like I've seen clips with Carlin where I'm listening and I'm laughing, and then he'll say something and I'm laughing. I was like, no, wait a minute, what did he say? And I have to literally like rewind and shit. But what I meant by that is that like comedy and like with music is what really breaks down barriers, and more so it's like over the years and over the decades where English especially has broken to like so many different countries, and people are picking it up more and more, especially the newer generations. That's why every time that you collaborate with people like Russians and Germany and England.
There's some, I will not be surprised if I know I have a singer who does vocals from one of my songs, and she lives in Germany, but she speaks perfect English. You're just like, are you from Germany or you're from? Because it doesn't feel like you're from Germany. You speak perfect English. I was like,
they actually have an educational system there.
Right. You're basically.
We've had this conversation before on the podcast. We live in Texas. We live, less than 30 miles from the border with Mexico, and we do not teach Spanish in our schools, which seems a goddamn foolish thing.
Well, they do, but it's a dumbass curriculum.
It's an elective.
In high school, and I disagree. I've always disagreed with that. I don't know why it's not taught from the day that you walk in to school. Whether it was kinder or whenever you started school. I actually, just real quick on that point, I remember when I was a kid, dude, I was like 6 years old. And I remember my one of my teachers. I don't know what grade you're in exactly when you're 6.
Oh,
but one of the teachers I remember, because I was brought up in a Spanish speaking household. Everybody spoke Spanish, so I didn't really know English. I learned English in school. But anyway, I remember a lot of the times that I walked in the classroom, like the teacher would always tell me the most, because I would speak Spanish the most. She would literally tell me, she was like, hey, no speaking Spanish in here, you need to speak English. And that stuck with me, and that just didn't happen like 1 year. It was like I said, I don't know what grade you're in, like a 5 or whatever, but whatever grade it is, it happened that year. Then I moved on to the next year, and it was the same thing. It's like, hey, don't speak Spanish here, like it's just English or whatever. Dude, and it was something I never understood.
There's some weird shit, man. We can cover that maybe another time. But I junior high, I had a teacher she substituted. She had retired, and for some reason she kept coming back. But this lady was probably in her mid 70s or something. So she'd been teaching long enough that it was like they used to actually that was a spankable offense, No Spanish in school and shit. I literally saw her chastise people, and I'm pretty sure she went for a ruler one time before it clicked. Like, oh wait, never mind, we don't do that anymore. But it was like she said one time in class, she was substituting for some history course or something, and somebody, said something in Spanish, and she kind of, well, we did not have that in the class, and we're all just looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then yeah, man, Texas is a weird fucking place when it comes to that, man. I mean, I'm sure other states have their problems, but I don't give a fuck about them.
Because I don't live there, so
get your own shit in order. Yeah, and then there's the whole issue with the way they kind of mismanage some of the bilingual courses. Like, I was in elementary in the Houston public school system for a little bit, and it wasn't like they were taking the kids that spoke Spanish and teaching them, trying to catch them up with English, right, while supplementing this with the Spanish so that they can keep up with the class course. They would just teach them in Spanish.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, then what's the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that'd be like living in Germany and getting a course in French, and then you graduate and can't get a goddamn job in Germany. It's like, fuck was the point?
Now, along to wrap this around to like back onto you and your music. Have you ever, like, you worked now? Is Russian, like your Russian friends, the only other? I guess if you want to call it ethnicity that you've worked with, like you've only worked with internationally, you've only worked with like Russian people? Or
No,
you just mentioned the German singer.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you didn't even say if she was a singer. What was the instrumental collaborative or?
Yeah, it's it's like it's basically vocal wise. I mean, no instruments involved. It's just vocals. And I know she did 1 or 2 or 3 songs on one of my songs from the previous album, 2016 album.
Oh, she actually did vocals for your tracks.
Yeah.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Actually, was are you just doing? You're actually they're sending you raw files and you're engineering tracks.
Right.
It's not just I'll engineer my track and send it to you, and then we'll put it all together.
Right.
Okay.
Mostly like it depends on, like, I know her vocals. It's just raw, no effects, nothing. So I'll just download the file and I'll work something around with it, trying to fit in the essence of the song and trying to fit the vibe. Make more reverbs, VST plugins, whatever it needs, filterizing and EQ, all that, whatever it needs on this song. This whatever it is appropriate for it. So yeah.
Got it.
Right on.
Now, the reason as to why I brought that up is because I was going to ask you, working with different people, like musically and everything, especially I focus on like internationally, like the German singer that you work with, the Russian. Like, do you feel that it how can I say this, that it's made like through music, that it's made I hate not being able to like get the question out right. Like, do you feel that music makes for a better relationship with a foreign country? Like, do you think that breaks barriers of like, I don't like this person because of this or whatever? Do you think music basically brings
people together? I mean, the thing is, I'm just type of guy where like I just want peace. I mean, I don't want people like to fight over some stupid shit. And even though there's a solution towards the end, and all of us, we're human. We eat, we shit, we blow our noses, we have eyes. Even though we speak in different languages, but I mean, I see as people. I mean, I see as human beings. Like, we're all the same, But even though right now it's like Russian versus, I don't know, some other conflict shit, and I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I don't really care what's going on. Just like, I just want peace. I mean, I see people. I don't see them as an enemy or I don't know. It doesn't really.
Does the subject ever even come up? I mean, I don't. give a shit. I would assume if we're doing art, we're here to do art. Dan.
Yeah,
But,
like as long as we come together, as long as we have the same vision, I mean, that's all we do for, even for ambient. Like, I know people are like, man, how'd you get those musicians from international? I mean, Bandcamp and all that. I mean, I
See,
really love
and,
to.
and this
interact.
is exactly why I brought up this point and why I brought up my earlier point.
Mhm.
And this is what I was trying to get to you through comedy and through music. I feel like it's the way to where it breaks down the barriers of like conflict. And maybe I used the wrong word, maybe not comedy, but through laughter. I feel like if we can make each other laugh and we can laugh together, like I really feel that releases the tension of conflict,
Stress
no matter what, like no matter who you are, no matter your political affiliation,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the same thing with music. If you make some dope ass music and you play it for a fucking Korean dictator, I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to be like, hey man, let me get that shit from you. You know what I'm saying? Like I really honestly feel, and I got one more example to back it up real short. Y'all remember? I don't know how big you are on like basketball and shit like that, but I'm pretty sure you'll remember because I think we talked about it. Back in 2012, I think, or 2011, when Dennis Rodman went to North Korea to play that basketball exhibition game with Kim. Did you ever see? You didn't see it?
No. I know that Rodman went over there and was getting very friendly with Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
I didn't know he played an exhibition basketball game.
Oh, you didn't know it? Yeah, man. Like he flew some, just real quick. He flew some some real American professional basketball players, retired, of course, that were from here. He formed an actual basketball team. He trained with the basketball team that Kim picked from over there, and they're all trained together. And then the whole point, this is all in a documentary. I think it's still on Netflix.
Right.
I forgot what it's called though. But point is, they trained whatever. Then at the end, they did it all to play this exhibition game. And the whole point, I mean, it may sound selfish as fuck, but the whole point to that and the exhibition game was just the fact that Kim loves basketball. It's his favorite sport. And he says that Dennis Rodman was his favorite player.
I think I heard something about that. Yeah,
so his biggest dream was to watch his favorite player play an exhibition game against like a handpicked team of his country. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't know if he's ever heard of Michael Jordan, but yeah, he said that Dennis Rodman was his favorite basketball player, and that's what he did. That point and moral to the story is that I feel like through music, through comedy,
through any art,
through sports,
through any art, yeah,
you like we've been able to break those barriers down of like
to get everyone together in one experience and laugh or have joy, have peace.
Exactly.
That's all we came for, to have peace, to have entertainment, joy, all that stuff, not to fight or anything.
And to put the cherry on top on this part of the conversation, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, they should legalize marijuana.
That's hilarious.
Sure. Look, yeah.
See what happened there? That's what's supposed to happen. That's a perfect example.
Just random. Like I had to say legalize marijuana of all the whole thing.
But it made him laugh.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's like the punchline that came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was just thinking. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and occasionally, like, he's getting to that point in life where he's a family man now. He's got his grown-up adult responsive. Anyway, so we have these kind of weird conversations occasionally about culture and politics and whatnot. And he was he's a little bit, well, long story short, we came around to the subject of our Senate race here in Texas between Cruz and O'Rourke, and he was like, I hear Beto wants to legalize weed, and I was like, no, that's not what he said. He said decriminalize, which is the part where it's like, you're very nice at giving speeches, Mr. O'Rourke, but take a few steps in the right direction, buddy. That's a whole different conversation because I'm sure, I mean, fucking hell, man. I don't know.
It's all right.
That's just one of those. Politics is one of those subjects where it's like, wait a minute, did we all read the same the articles? Have we read them all?
No, and it's not even did we all read the same articles. It's like we read the same article, but did we all understand the same shit? Because you can read the same article, just here, three of us, and you interpret it one way, you'll interpret it another way, I'll interpret it another way. And that's exactly what happens with politics. At the end of the day, if we all interpret it in three different ways, that's how the fuck you create conflict. And that's the problem with politics, which leads me back.
He disagrees, he doesn't disagree, he will agree, and then that's where,
and that brings me back to my previous point with music and comedy. Mm-hmm. And what's the other one that we said? Music, comedy, and
porn.
Shit! Yeah, yeah. Why not?
The international language of love.
with music and comedy, it's like, yeah, you can disagree, but at the end of the day, like Damien said, if you make dope material,
or
nobody's not gonna not laugh.
Well, honestly, this kind of goes back to the conversation we were having about when Cetas was here about propaganda and art and the intention of the artist and the unintended, I guess, message and content that just kind of seeps in there. Because it's like, I'm going to make this. And then you get to the end of it and you go, oh, I also did a few other things in there. And it's like, I really do believe if as a creative person, if you have too tight a grip, it's like I have this thing in my head and it must match it perfectly. Right. It's like vague outlines, motherfucker. Know what direction you're going in and then just try to get there. But when it comes to collaborative efforts,
even I did with Cetas, like I collaborated with Cetas on the poem and ambient together. You know, we have done that.
Oh yeah, you told us about that.
Yeah, Cetas and I will we practice I know he had some poetry reading that he's doing like in the past, and we just collaborate and just do what we need to do, and then off we go. I mean, I really love those collaborators like with Cetas because we both have a very similar mindset of art, and it's whatever we talk about. Either it's Star Wars. I mean, we're a big fan of Star Wars, or we talk of anything art. We both have I can tell that it's a very similar mindset where we view as art as like an open message. It's what we have mentioned, joy, entertainment, and all that. So, I mean, I have collaborated with Citizens 2 years. I don't know. I forgot how many years I collaborate with Cetas a lot. But yeah, shout out to Cetas. Sometimes I call him the merch guy, just an inside joke. One time I call him the merch guy. He was carrying my stuff. He volunteered to just carry my stuff. I know we're at the reading, and he was carrying my stuff, and then we're just like, oh, puro merch guy and all that. We're just like, people see us like we're brothers. Like they thought we were brothers, and we're like, no. We act like brothers.
Damien was like, no, this is just a Mexican that I found. That
he's a merch guy, Mexican merch guy. He's COO merch guy. Cereal Dawn merch guy. That's we joke around. It's our inside joke, but yeah, I really love collaborating locally. Not just poets, but anywhere, any artists. I know I'm gonna collaborate with other with one of my closest friend here on her novel. We're gonna be releasing her novel. Well, probably in the nearest future. But right now, I'm also collaborating a mini album with her because I'm gonna be releasing like a not sure an EP album or a full length album, but I want her to contribute her poetry novel in there along with my music, just to give her like a exposure, a little bit of exposure and all that. That's what I want to do for artists locally, where I see the potential and all that. That okay, we can go something with this, like poetry and anything, have more exposure since like I have people from Austin, I have people from Dallas. Why not? I can bring them, like poetry wise, or whatever, just to give them. Hey, I mean, besides me, I'm collaborating with this lady or gentleman that I'm going to do, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just expose more for them, not just myself. I don't want to be the selfish one, but like expose for them what they needed. What they need to hear their voice to be heard or something like that. So that's what I've been wanting to do that and stuff like that. So
kind of a related question, man. Have you done any of these collaborations where because the sense I was getting from when you were talking about the projects you did with the Russian musicians and the vocalists from Germany was that it was you're doing the engineer. They're sending you or what?
I mean, they'll the split album, the last one. I think they did the mixing.
Okay.
On their songs, they do the mixing. I know one of them does the mastering, so he'll contact me saying, "Hey, if you need any mastering involved, you send me in." So I did.
And that shit is hard. Like the mastering of
auto mastering. Yeah.
That shit is fucking. I mean, I tried it once.
Yeah.
And I completely fucked it up.
You need to have a good ear. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it depending what genre of music or even auto you're working on. I mean, you need to have a good ear, the good plugins, and it's a very hard. It's a very hard.
What a lot of people don't know. A lot of people, and I don't have extensive music production knowledge, even though I fucking took a class and a degree and all that shit. But what a lot of people don't know is that there is a huge difference between mixing and mastering.
Yes.
Like an album. A lot of people think that, I mixed it, we good, it's done. It's like
actually, it depends though. I know ambient. Like I know. I talked to my father because he used to study in music production, and I will I would just send files to my dad, or have him listen to my stuff, only without mastering and stuff like that. And I mean, he told me I know there's some of the songs I released a long time ago, which just no mastering, the mixing, just just only mixing. But in his feedback was just I mean, there's no mastering for it. I mean, it's ambient, yes. I mean, there's no need for it, but in my ear, I mean, it's appropriate to have mastering, to polish it.
And just to be clear on
but this, depending on the work you're,
right.
On,
my vernacular when it comes to I'm the one that does the audio engineering for this, and I don't know half what the fuck I'm doing. Surprise, motherfuckers. But mastering is basically you're making sure that all the levels
are the gaining and everything. You want it a very balanced, balance and all that.
You know how you always say, "Give me a level because I want to make sure that you're not peaking." Right. Okay. So when you master, and like he was saying earlier, depending on the type of music you're doing, especially like when you have live instruments, so on and so forth. Every hi-hat, every snare, every guitar strum. Perfect example, guitar strum. Like you strum it, and that has a level. Yeah. But then you strum it again, or you strum it repeatedly, and it's gonna give you a different level. When you master it, two things need to happen, and it's the most difficult shit in the world if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Number one, all of that shit, all of those levels that came in differently. Mm-hmm. You have to get them the same without compromising the sound quality. Right. And the same, I mean, as in not overlapping, not being lower, not being offbeat. That's another thing. Not being offbeat with the rest of the track.
or not sound too grainy, too grainy,
and
or
then you have
compressor and all that.
Exactly,
Doesn't,
and then you have to like clean it up so that it doesn't sound too grainy, so that it doesn't sound too muffled. That's what the mastering is. The mixing is just making sure. Again, there's more to it, but long story short, the mixing is just making sure
everything like for my ambient, where the bass line doesn't have to be too much bass, but keep it in the where you can hear it, but keep it where it's like good balance. And then all you have the mid and the treble and the whatever, just have it where, like, I mean, the whole mixing process is like putting the ingredients on the cake, trying to like see how it is. Like, does it need more milk? Does it need more water? Does it need more? That's the whole mixing is. Does it need more reverb? Does it need more of a filter? Or any VST plugins or any software you're gonna use or what you're using on the editing.
And this is exactly why. This is exactly why. Dr. Dre charges $250,000 to master one track. But if you get Dre mastering, it's a done deal, and it's probably a platinum hit.
Oh, sure. He hasn't been riding off the Chronic for 20 years. That's ridiculous.
But
hey, look, 2001 was my freshman year album. But fucking that does not mean that I'm not a dude. I remember fucking 2004 going, if this motherfucker waits another 10 years to put an album out, I ain't fucking buying it.
That's fucking hilarious.
What was it? 12 years? 13 years? He waited a little while.
From 04 to from 01. No, wait.
No. The Chronic 2001 came out, I believe,
99.
2000. 99 was the I remember this because back to back it was the Eminem EP, then it was the LP, then it was the Chronic, and then the Marshall Mathers album came out. So I remember having that back to back because I got most of them during the summer.
Look, see. It came out. See, 99, November of 99.
Oh, okay. Later in the year. I get you.
November of 99. So
he waited 15 years to put out another album.
15. Wait, from 99 to 2015, how many years is it?
A while. Almost, a while.
Longer
than the motherfucker needed to put out the damn album.
Mostly I put out my albums 4 months, 4 or 5 months. Like, they're all like, man, you put this album already, now another one? Like, what's the whole what's going on?
See, the thing about him, and I've seen not a lot. There's only like 2 documentaries that I've ever seen where it shows actually depth as into like his recording style. And he's just a perfectionist. Like, everything needs to be perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it's not, he won't put it. That's why I got pissed off so bad, because when the story is, I don't know how, because I don't know him personally, right? But the original story is with the Detox album that he's still yet to put out, was that album was done. Mm-hmm. That album was done, like completely done, pressed, everything ready to put out. And it was gonna be a 32 track double album, right? Mm-hmm. And like everybody, I was excited when I heard it. 32 Dre tracks, awesome, whatever, But the word is that I don't remember if it was Eminem or if it was Jimmy Iovine that told him one fucking thing about the record, and he scrapped the whole thing. He just like, nah, I'm not gonna put it out. I'm gonna wait on it. And I was like, fuck you, Jimmy. I don't know what he would have told him, but
32 track. That's a load of shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe it was gonna be his. It was gonna be a triple disc. Triple disc album. Because the thing
The
was
maximum of the CDs.
the thing was
time.
that he was just gonna put that one and that was it. Like he was not gonna put any more music out. That's why he wanted to make a triple CD or whatever.
Yeah. Give me one more platinum plat. Fuck rap. You can have it back.
Exactly. He stuck to his word, or he wanted to stick to his word. But yeah, that's the story with that.
Just goes to show you, kids, you can be you can both admire an artist and be willing to admit that they might have their head up their own ass.
Yep.
What I was getting at with the asking you if you did your own engineering on the tracks was have you done anything where you're kind of like, I'll record a piece and I'll send it off? Are you sending it off to anyone else and letting them kind of? Because I mean, I'm imagining at that point it's kind of like, I don't know what you're going to do with it, but you just kind of have to.
Well, basically, like the whole thing, the engineering, it's me. Mixing, engineering, whatever, it's all me. But the mastering is where I'll send to people. Like run my.
Dude, I was thinking more about the collaborative efforts with anyone.
Okay.
Have you done the other way around where you're the contributor as opposed to the what's the word I'm looking for here? The engineer, basically.
Yeah. I mean like for my songs, everyone has their own mixing engineer or whatever. If we're gonna do a split album or all that stuff where they do their songs, they do their mixing, if optional mastering, they do their own songs, their own thing, and I'll do mine. But I'm not very good at mastering. I'm learning. But if I want to have a good mastering balance with the sound and everything, then I'll send it where an experienced engineer for the mastering.
And you might want to brag to the people, man. Let them know that you do all of this shit from your house.
Oh yeah,
by yourself. By yourself, right?
By myself.
That is
writing. Writing, recording.
No, I was just
all of this.
I was just amazed
in the house.
Yeah, I was just in my bedroom. That he records, engineers, and masters his own shit out of his house.
Even makes physical copies, homemade. Those little brown sleeves thing. Yeah. I made it. I made those. I try to be like homemade. Like very limited quantity of physical copies.
Do you go to school?
No.
You don't go to school. No, and you don't work?
I don't work.
That explains it.
but it's a personal thing, so I don't want to share it.
I know. It's cool. No, but I was just saying, because it's a lot of time, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. Like, it's basically the recordings and all that. It's a lot of time. Like, record one song takes almost a whole day. I stayed up all night. Like, I will finish around 3 o'clock in the morning and just, but mostly the inspiration or the recording is just taken mostly at night, because mostly during the night where I will overthink things and I will get inspiration behind it. And I'm a night person where I get more inspiration, all that stuff. So all the recordings is basically just
real
more
quick,
of a sad vibe.
real quick on that, on the inspiration and the writing at night. I used to, because I've talked about this before, but I dedicate 2 hours of my day to writing my material, and I just write. It doesn't mean that in 2 hours I come up with a joke. I just write ideas down, scrabble, and then go back later and put them together. Point is, I dedicate 2 hours of every day to writing, and you're the second person that I hear that you get inspired to write late at night. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know what it is,
or not inspired late at night, but anywhere, like nature, experiences. I mean, anything.
But I mean like then you mean like you
the writings, like actual recording.
Yeah. So like I just noticed, I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that I'm me myself as well. I'm more creative when I write alone at night as well.
Yeah,
Like
solitude.
three of my solid jokes that work today and that I use them on stage because they work. They came out in one night. I mean, I went, like I said, I went back and I polished them later a little bit, but the main punchline, the delivery came like in, and the idea, of course, came in and at night. I don't know if it's because, like I said, I don't know how your writing process is or your recording process, but I don't know if it's because it's like you're alone and there's no interruption. It's quiet.
Yeah,
I think there's something to that. It's the stripping down.
it's still. It's very still and very quiet. I mean,
well, not only that, but you also know that there's nobody. You don't have any other obligations. It's like, do I need to talk to so and so? No, they're fucking asleep.
yeah.
So it is just me here doing this thing.
Right.
And I think the inspiration comes a little bit like the brain's just going like, you're going to go to sleep in a little bit. Here's a dumb thought.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got to write that down.
Oh shit.
And just to put that in perspective in the comedy world, Richard Pryor and George Carlin used to write at night all the time.
That was the cocaine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As
That's
far
a fact. Fun fact.
Yeah. As far
Here's
as
another one. You ever stayed up for a couple days and then tried to like get in on a creative? I mean, there's a double-edged sword there, because on one hand, your brain is in that stress mode where it's not like you can go for a good 10 minutes and then you go, wait, what the fuck was I doing? But the shit that comes out, if you can get it down, I've found is usually interesting. Maybe not something you're going to take and eventually put out there, but it's at least something where you look back on it the next day and you go, how the fuck did I get to there? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I can't go back in my brain and retrace the logical steps that are going to get me to that thought, to that detail that I put into it.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's definitely a stress factor in there somewhere.
So I just remembered where I was going with the question or the statement that I made earlier when I asked you. It was a question when I asked you about the whole money situation, and not to touch the money situation again, but I was gonna say, do you long term, or I'm trying to see where your vision is with this. Like, do you at some point wish to make this like your career and sustain yourself from this, or is this just a plain hobby?
I receive a lot of that question, like a lot of like, wait, is this mostly I would take it as a side career or a hobby. I mean, it's a very, I would say, therapeutic, personal therapeutic to me, and it's something like, oh, I mean, like, I'm just gonna write this because I want to impress someone or whatnot or get fame. No, it's not. It's just like, I've been going through a lot, and this is my personal experience. I want to express, even though in words I try and how do you say, whatchamacallit, like, try not to say in words. Well, I have difficulties saying feelings, whatever I'm feeling, in words, but in art or in sounds, it's what it captures, the essence. It captures what I feel, and basically it's just very therapeutic all the time. It's nothing where I would just want to do it for fame. I don't want to be there, or don't want to, like, all that stuff. It's therapeutic for me and for others who's going to listen to it. It's be good benefits for them or whatnot. But yeah,
I think we kind of talked about that the last time you were on. It wasn't
Right.
When you got into music, that wasn't necessarily the sound you were playing with. It was something you came to.
Right. It's something I came to. I know I want to play something slow, but very abstract, abstract minimalist. And I want to do something very interesting where in the Valley, you don't see many often,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Your whole goal, and I'm kind of picking this up from now and what we spoke about the last time. But if I'm not mistaken, you said your whole goal was that you wanted to do something different and completely original, especially here in the Valley.
Right.
And And as far as the whole setup in music that you do is
Mhm.
very new and very original.
It's very, yeah.
Very,
Even though people are like very unaware. I mean,
yeah,
here in the
yeah.
it's all culture. It's
Yeah.
people are
And I'm saying that because I still stand by what I said the
Yeah.
first time when I first saw you perform. Like your performance was the first that I had ever heard, and believe me, I've been around a lot of different kinds of music, but that was the whole,
like
and
you have heard of ambient music in like when they're playing the radio or on a CD, but you don't see a live performance like an artist in an open mic or anywhere in live performance doing all the ambient stuff. Like I get that from a lot of people where I went to this coffee shop the other last weekend ago, and I just wanted to just to perform because I know it's a very neat place and everything. I know one of my friends performed there, so I was like, oh, I should give it a shot. Even one of the owners was saying, like they were talking to my family and they were saying like, oh yeah, like he went to Austin and Dallas and like, has he booked here? Or like, no. Well, he should. I mean, talk to my son and everything. So, of course, their son is running the whole music coordinator or schedule, whatnot. And when I told him about everything, what I do, ambient music, I do all this. I know he was hesitant, though. I get that a lot from people when I want to perform in coffee shops or what else. But like, they get really hesitant. Like, they know about this genre, but like, it's like to them, it's very chill.
It's like a unicorn.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very chill. Like, I mean, they want something upbeat. Like, I mean, I understand you want some upbeat. That way, people would get more. But like, and there's other owners was hearing our conversation, and he went up to with us, and he just like, let me listen to your music. I mean, he has heard like, oh, like, we need some more upbeat and all that, but he was listening to it, and the owner was listening to it right like in front of me, and he was like blown away, very like, wow. And, like, this is something where people would just grab a cup of joe and sit back and just relax and experience the sounds, just to chill, even though the one who's running the music.
And I told you I remember the first time because we were performing the same night that I heard him, the very first time I heard him, and on the spot when I mean, and it wasn't a strong bit, but on the spot, one of my opening bits, because I think I went after him or a guy after him at Luna, yeah. And I did part of my set. I don't remember exactly what the setup and the punchline was, but I just kind of remember saying, I told him, I was like, yeah, bro, I've never heard that kind of music. It's just something new to me. Yeah. But it's definitely something that would be awesome if you were like tripping balls on shrooms or some shit. Like, because you'll definitely go on it like, because you know how at Luna's is dark and everything.
It's very ambient. Yeah, it's very dark.
Lightning, yeah. So without me being on drugs, and I was just sitting back and laying back on the chair, and I closed my eyes and I was listening, I literally felt like I went on a trip somewhere. And I was sober, dude. I mean, it was just coffee, right? As far as I know. but yeah, it made me feel like and then he was done. Like I went on this is how I know that I went on a trip, because I remember listening to the music and in my mind I was going somewhere, and then after that all I remember is you saying thank you, yeah, and like then it was over, and then I was like, oh shit. so that's what I said. I was like, dude, that is awesome. If I kind of remember slightly what my punchline was. It was a weak ass punchline, but it said, "Hey man, by any chance does your music come with shrooms or anything like that?"
That's fucking hilarious.
so yeah, because it's that kind of because you have never heard it before, right?
No, actually, we were doing the sound check earlier. I think that's the first time I've ever actually like heard you.
Yeah.
honestly, I think part of the conversation we had last time was I think we were kind of pushing you a little bit to explain this to us, define this.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've been explaining a lot. I mean, I love explaining the whole ambient genre. I know here in the Valley, they're like, "What is ambient?"
Well, the thing I kind of got from
Yeah.
you, and I could be completely wrong on this. I have a tendency to run with my own little thoughts in my head, but it seems to me it's it's almost like it has to exist almost by itself. That's a bad way to put that. Like I'm not doing a very good job of expressing this, but part of what was running through my head, man, is I've heard guitarists, like just a acoustic guitar player. I mean, usually you're talking about a big bodied, maybe a 12 string or something.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times when you hear an acoustic guitarist live in public playing somewhere, whether they're mic'd up or not, it's like that sounds like a guy playing a guitar. And a couple of times I've come across some artists that you walk in someplace and you kind of barely register there's some music going on in the background. Then you go, oh, there's music. And then you look over and you go, oh shit, there's somebody playing that music. Like it fits the space. Like they're playing to the space that they're playing in, which is kind of the sense I was getting from you when you were explaining it. And listening to you a little bit earlier, you kind of fill up the whole
space around your surroundings. That's
right.
Basically what's ambient. It fills up not just here, but like in your mind, your thoughts. It fills up the listener. It gives it a fully like a spirit, like a stillness experience and all that. So you're just playing around with the sound. You're trying, like you said, shrooms and go on a trip. That's part of it. But I mean, everyone has like, I think it's this type of music. It's what's interesting is that it's very open, and you can't even listen to it when you're reading a book or you're just listening on when you're driving or you're meditating. A lot of people use it for meditation, even for recovery, or just want to listen and just sit down and just listen. And because I know a lot of my music has a lot of textural, detailed sounds.
I guess just the only drug that I could think of is not to use when you listen to music is cocaine, because then you'll be wanting to do shit all over the place, and that music kind of mellows you the fuck out, so it'll completely kill your fucking coke buzz. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
You know what? I think we are at a good point right now, man. If you want to go ahead and play us a track here.
You might want to, man, at least let the people know that it's coming.
Huh? We already told them the guitar's not there for a prop.
So
there's the pedals.
Excuse Sean's,
our regular listeners are going to notice that the damn couch is missing. We've clearly done this for a reason.
Excuse Sean's bad manners, but our guest.
No.
Here,
blame me. Go ahead.
Damn it, Sean.
Bad manners.
Fuck you, Sean.
Our guest here is actually going to give us on our podcast a live performance of the actual music that he does. It's not, and this is why all this shit is here, because he's gonna give us a live performance. And I would also like to point out that this is also the first time that that we actually do this on this podcast, and I'm very excited. So whether it goes to shit or whether it goes great, I'm still excited. So coming up next,
Freddy, show don't tell.
So coming up here shortly, you're gonna hear a live performance.
It's a new song.
You're gonna do the new one for us first?
Huh?
You're gonna do the new one for us first?
It's a very newest. I'm working on right around this week. I have uploaded or whatnot, like an app that does all the cello, viola, and all that. So I'm experimenting with all that stuff. Even though in the future I might get a real cello player to play along with me on this one of those songs. But for now, it's just the app itself doing all the orchestral things.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the band is, but there was a group it's every once in a while it'll pop up on the internet. Someone's like, interesting fact you didn't know. But there was some album back in the mid 70s where the guy basically put the whole thing together in his fucking garage, like literally in his garage, like doing the fucking around with oscillators and doing the keyboards and
Modulate? Yeah. I think I've seen an image of that. Yeah, it has those little.
where you basically take the tone and then just like
Yeah, and they have those little those strings where you can connect. What's it called? I don't know. I've seen that.
Point being, he put the entire album together by himself and then shopped it out to a record label, and they went, great. Now we have to actually get you a band to play this shit.
Actually, once you're a modulator and stuff like that, I think I experienced one band who somewhat does that when I was in Dallas and Austin. Shout out to Dallas Acid. Very cool band. I have toured with them, and they're very nice people there. Very amazing people. I know they did a very different sound, and what you said about modular, it's basically like a whole big. They use like a whole big synth, stuff like that, and it takes up the whole damn stage and everything. And here I am.
Hey man,
and then all this simple stuff.
But it works, man. It works.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, just so you don't downplay what you're doing so much, I like to remind everybody that Gin and Juice, the classic, was cooked in a basement, and the microphone booth was inside a shower. The shower head was removed and it was replaced with a microphone. So masterpieces can happen, damn it, no matter where you're at.
No matter.
Yep. So with that being
but
said,
you wait until the song's popular before you tell people that. It's like, here's my track. I recorded it in the shower. Yeah, I don't. Nah.
I was gonna do that for some reason. I was gonna do it. Thank you for. I'm gonna do that in my future albums.
There's a major YouTuber that I listen to that he frankly admits he's like my recording booth is my closet because he just
It's hilarious.
Just goes in his closet with his laptop and his mic.
Actually, I've seen artists that they recorded through the closet. Because I guess it's like since the wall is like super, like closed, and the sounds weren't able to travel. The frequencies won't travel like anywhere, like in the open room right now. But in the closet, it's like, where it's the sounds will not go anywhere, just go in one place and just I don't know, just one place.
Well, I mean, half the reason that I'm not I love condenser mics, that fucking that purity, that just sharpness of the sound that you get from them.
Right. Yeah.
But god damn, if you're recording anywhere outside of a controlled environment with a condenser mic, it's just like it's almost spray and pray. You just have to hope that there's not something in the background that's getting to that mic.
Yeah, I think
I like my condenser mic, man.
Oh, it sounds great. You know exactly what material your walls are made out of.
Yeah, basically. Soundproof. At least you have a very soundproof wall, then you're fine.
That sounds like that's definitely a drywall with a nice glossy coat on it. Yeah,
there you go.
Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the performance.
All right.
Let's do it. We're going to hear it through the headphones, right?
Yes, we should be able to hear this through the headphones. If the sound gets weird right now, folks, just bear the fuck with us. Yes.
You did a good job. No matter what. No matter what happens, it's all good.
And if you'd like to blame me for the sound quality coming out of your speakers, go ahead and message us at bouncingbrainspodcast@gmail.com.
sad song, I guess. Number one. New song, I guess. Been experimenting with the app I'm doing. Cello, viola, violin. This is not the first time I'll be doing it. I mean, I'm gonna get a real cello player to play along with me, and of course, I'm gonna do all this stuff, additional instruments or whatever, orchestral. But yeah, it's a new song I'm working on right now. It's gonna be a new album release, probably not sure next year. Um, I'm working out with a poet named Hannah Romero. We're gonna do like a mini novel. I want to, expose her poems. She is a very amazing writer, poet, and I'm gonna want to expose her voice and make her out there. And I know her and I are we have a very mindset set us, of course, but yeah, it's
Right on.
all collaboration project I'm gonna do right now. So, yep.
Hey man, I dig it. Now with the app you're using there, it's wasn't paying attention earlier. We were doing the sound check mainly because I was too busy staring at
Yeah,
this
it's
and
a whole
the levels. But you're are you what's the word I'm looking for here? Is it something automatic? I noticed a little bit in there. You were sliding something on.
Yeah.
I can't see your screen.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's, you have direct control over.
Yeah, direct control and all that. And I know one of the musicians I tour with, she used that app as well. And I was doing some research like what app she using that has all the instruments and you can do all this weird sounds on it. And of course, the app is. She told me that. So
What's the name of it?
Thumb Jam. It's Thumb Jam. It's I know you have to pay $10, but it's worth it. It has all these kits: guitar, bass, drums, cello, any orchestral elements in there. You can mess around and whatnot. It's a very good app. I mean, I know I want to do experiment with my ambient. Just want to do like a little orchestral elements in there since it kind of matches my emotional whatever I'm going to trying to do and stuff like that. And
Now, just curious,
that.
the vibrato, is that the right word?
Yeah, the vibrato, like the whole.
That was something you were actually doing.
Right. Yeah, a little. Yeah, I add some effects in there. I know in the settings I can arrange the vibrato and decrease it or increase it, and I can do all this sort of stuff in there, and it gives you like a whole thing there. So it's a very neat app.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah, it's
$10 a month, you said?
It says no, it's not. It's $10 to buy the app. To buy the whole thing.
Fucking A. Okay, yeah.
on the Apple thing, iTunes, whatever. So yeah, if you want to compose music digitally, then there it is.
Okay, I thought you meant maybe it was a subscription type thing.
Oh no, it's not.
The cheap bastard that lives in my heart was going, that's too much. It's too much.
1099, fuck that shit. No, right now I'm gonna be doing a new album, and later in the future gonna be releasing with my friend from Austin. He has his own record label, Aerial Canyon. I want to give a big shout out to Matthew Hanner and his wife Gina for doing this tour thing, the arrangement in Austin. It was a very big experience. I really enjoyed. I came back here. Everyone wants to know about the stories. So what's going on? I know I was having like a anxiety in there, but like I put it through. I survived it. I survived it. I'm again, and they want me back again probably next year. I think I don't know when in Austin, but yeah, a lot of people want me back in Austin and Dallas. So yeah, big shout out to fans over there, friends, new friends, all that. Big love to them. Yeah.
As we were mentioning earlier in the conversation, it's what you're doing musically is not necessarily something that there's not a scene down here specific, for that. You're not.
Sadly, no. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I know people are gonna like get a little bit offended, but like, I mean, I know that there's some people who, I mean, even me, like I want to do something different here. Like, I'm doing the house shows, like bring something in Austin or in Dallas, try to bring something here, like house shows or whatever, exposed to this type of music or any type of music, And I've been trying that, and people get, I mean, I get good response, but like, it's just like, it takes a long time. It takes a long, long time to take the exposure and everything, everything. It takes a lot of time. I mean, I know people out there like, oh my God, like, no, it's just like, I mean, I've been working hard on this, trying to, just to have people to listen. I don't came for fame here, or I don't came for anything, I don't want to be where it's mainstream here or anything like that. I just want to where like people gather around, experience the sound, whatever, it's therapeutic. It can be therapeutic to me. It can be therapeutic to you. Have good benefits with that, and something good. I'm spreading the good message about my personal experience, struggles, and everything, battles. And yeah, it's all I wanted to do. Spread the message. Perform, collaborate, meet new friends, fans. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And
That's cool.
Even though I'm going to be doing some future performance in Brownsville, the coffee shop, and yeah, hopefully something happens along there.
That's cool, and I think that is a very, very positive note to end it on.
Freddie wants to get to an open mic. I do have one question though for you, man, because this is something that I've.
I'm open. Go ahead.
I've had this.
If it can be like porn related, then it's all cool.
Oh, what?
If it's porn related?
No, this was strictly music. Where are you enjoying the interaction with the audience? I mean, all right, you're doing the house shows here, the coffee houses and whatnot, and then you're doing the road gigs, which I'm taking it you were doing music venues, or you were doing more.
Actually, the Dallas, Austin, Dallas is both of them are in a theater. In the theater, yeah. Dallas is a Texas theater, historic theater. They say that the JFK, the one who killed JFK, Kennedy,
right.
John Kennedy. Well, the suspect.
This was where he was watching the movie.
Yeah, someone get caught there. So that's the Texas theater, and then the Austin was the Zach Halbert theater. It was I like those.
And was there a difference there, man? With the
it was. It was a different. I mean, it's the same vibe, same theater vibe, but thing is, with the Austin, I guess it's much more smaller and much more intimate, and it just brings a lot of people where it feels like house shows. It feels like people gather and people know to expect about ambient music, and I see people meditating. They were in the carpet or somewhere in the floor, and it just freaking meditating. I really love that. It shows that you're really enjoying, you're taking that sound, you're taking it inside of you, in your bones, inside of you, basically everything, breathing in the ambient,
Right
so
on,
I want to give a shout out, again, Matthew, Ariel, all the family of Ariel Canyon and Dallas, my friend named Cody, who runs the Dallas thing, whatever, Dallas Ambient Music Nights. He does that, I think, every month. For he does a lot for me and does a lot for the ambient community. And I mean, I know it's a long road trip, but it's worth it. I mean, I come back and bought a lot of connections. I hopefully do a collaborative album. One of the musicians there, and yeah, basically just have them keep in touch and create music together and collaborate, or I don't know, just more shows.
Okay.
All that. So
if I can take an answer out of that, basically, like, you want to do more theaters.
Not more theaters. I'm not saying no more theaters. Let's just say like anything where it's it's appropriate for this type of music.
Okay.
A place where it's like people who can listen to it.
Okay. So, but
if you get what I mean,
I think I do. I ask about the sound in the theaters. well, actually, I was asking about the response from the audience.
Oh,
we'll get back to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah.
With spoken word, theaters are much different.
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah,
Actually, we've had this conversation many times where the comedians down here in the Valley are a little bit lucky because our home club is a theater, so that having to deal with that level of, you have to wait till the joke gets all the way to the back of the room and the laugh gets back to you. So
Yeah.
a little bit of difference in the timing.
Right.
But as far as the response from the audience, where are you enjoying the interaction with the? I mean, or is it kind of ubiquitous across the board? You're getting like a solid level of feedback. I mean, as far as interaction, I mean, like people not just coming up and going, "Hey, where can I get your music?" but also like, "Hey, I appreciate this aspect," or "I appreciated that song," or
there's some people who
maybe even questioning.
Yeah. I know one of the fans or someone attendees that was there. I know they discovered my music through YouTube, and they know that I was coming to Austin, so they were like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Austin with, of course, this ambient pioneer Laraji, which I shared a stage with." And that's how they contact me through YouTube, or they look forward, and in there, many people are just saying like, "Wow, this is something." It's breathtaking. That's what they said. Breathtaking. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of solid feedbacks what I got like this. It's emotional. It makes me. Yeah, I know one of them. My friends went there from here in the Valley to Austin. They made a big road trip, which I really appreciate them a lot and love them dearly. And they say that they cried. Okay, they cried in one of the songs. So I know this is a specific song called "Silence." That's the name of the song. "Silence" is that one that my friends and even my family will volunteers with, because it's very minimal of ambient, but like it's very sad.
I remember.
Melancholic.
I still don't know if the story is apocryphal or not. You know what I mean? It could just be something that someone made up because it sounded cool. But I remember reading a book one time, and they were talking about a temple in Tibet where it's kind of the building is built bell shaped, and it's up on top of a hill, so it's constantly having the wind blow against it, and the entrance is very low to the ground. Mm-hmm. And the idea is, as you walk in, you have to bend over, and as you come back up, you're getting the acoustic resonance and again, maybe apocryphal, but the story is basically as you stand up, that tone hits you and you instantly start crying. It hits.
Yeah, it's a whole, like, you're seeing or you're hearing like the art in person, and you're hearing the beauty out of it, and you're just like, wow. You're amazed on what you just heard, what you just saw. It's like you saw, like what you mentioned, that or a painting or stuff like that. Any art and stuff like that. So it really touched them in their hearts in some way. So
I was kind of disappointed a few years, or maybe about a year back or so. I came across some stuff as far as physics goes, and they basically said that string theory, as far as the unified theory of physics, string theory was probably bullshit. And that kind of, it's like, because that idea of the harmonic resonance of the universe kind of playing out the symphony that we call existence was always goddamn poetic as hell. And it just kind of talk to that romantic inside of
touches, me. It reaches your heartstring, and you just pull it out, and you're just like, okay, without even, touching you or stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like physically, but like,
And on the flip side of that is the brown note.
Yeah.
Shit your pants.
Boom.
Have fun. We got toilet paper in the lobby.
Oh, nice. I need that.
Some of you were crying. Some of you were doing other things.
Were you afraid?
He wasn't reading his phone. He was trying to hide the manly tears.
I was like, just so you know why I had my phone up. You actually went live on Facebook.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I had you going live on Facebook. That's why. That's what I was doing.
Oh, awesome.
Multitasking up in this motherfucker.
I tagged you, so that should carry to your page.
Page and everything, yeah.
Okay, well, we do want to kind of wrap up. Would you like to play another track? I'm not requesting one, but if you'd like
It
to,
seems like you're requesting
I was
one.
about to say,
Like,
yeah,
saying
you kind
you're
of.
requesting one. I don't want
My-
to hear another shit.
my method is to leave space, and if somebody chooses to fill it, wait, that sounds wrong. What I mean
That's
to say
hilarious.
if not, that's cool.
I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
can play another one if there's time.
If there's
don't-
something you,
you
want to
don't-
play,
you don't have-
if you
you don't
want, if
have-
there's something you want to play,
I do. But I'm not sure if Freddy agrees.
No, yeah, go for it. You're fine.
right here, Damien. Don't pay attention.
Oh, nah, yeah, he's on his phone, and I'm not sure he's watching porn or somewhat.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm gonna play. Like I mentioned, there's a song called "Silence."
Are we gonna get the sad one now?
Yeah, I'm getting the sad. Every song I compose is always sad. Like I'm not sure. I mean, I compose sad music. I mean, I just do whatever I tend to do, like with this song. But many people have different aspects of it, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm performing this sad song. My family, friends enjoy this type of music, or this music, and yeah, I'm gonna play "Silence." Not silence, like silence, Sean. Just silence.
Okay, so I'd
The
shut off
song
all
Silence.
these mics. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Fun.
Don't worry
Oh
about
shit.
it. They're hardy. Don't worry about it.
Fun fact with what you said about monitors. There's a real piece called 344, I believe, or 433. 433 is a composer named John Cage, where many people, like the one who's gonna play, they just basically go over the sheet, but like thing is there's no musical notes or anything like that. It's just pure silence. So during that piece, no one makes a sound. No one plays. It's a real piece. Like it's called 433 John Cage, but basically it's just silence by 4 minutes and 33 seconds. So no one in the room is making a sudden sound, not even playing. Just yeah, I get the philosophy behind it because it's silence. Music is silence. Silence is music. You know, all that. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
I'll follow you, man. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, it's a real piece.
I've
If people are wondering about that, then search up John Cage 433 and you'll get the answer. So yeah. So I'm not doing that. So I'm just having that fun fact thing. You know, I don't know. So
I get you, man. I get you. Okay.
Let me just play.
Beautiful, man.
We're like, oh. Yeah.
Quick, somebody spark the doobie.
Oh shit.
That's what
Man,
what
that smells.
I was just shit. Damn, dude, I damn.
Over here thinking about life, love, and Jesus.
That's hilarious.
Dude, you read my mind, bro.
Jesus H. Christ.
No bullshit. On both thoughts, he read my mind. He said, "Let's spark the doobie," and then he said, "Thinking of love, life, and Jesus." And brings me back to my original point. Beto, you need to legalize marijuana.
Get your ass off the pot, son. All right, well, get us on the pot. What I'm saying is, shit or get off the pot. Wait, this is just a lot of pot. All I'm saying.
Oh shit.
I've been saying for years, if we want to normalize trade with Mexico, we start with cannabis.
That's fucking hilarious.
Then we can talk about the meth. But, Damien,
Death? You said?
hey man, everybody needs some amphetamine sometimes.
Oh, I thought you said death. I was like, well, what kind of needs that?
I was listening to something earlier, and they were talking about the Kagagire, I think is the name of the book, and it was. Have you ever seen the movie Ghost Dog? It's where all those quotes come from. Anyway, one of them is a samurai should think about death always.
That's hilarious.
That way they are prepared. Damien, that was fucking beautiful, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Let the folks know where to find you.
Yeah,
I'm on Spotify. What?
because they will want to find you.
That's yeah. I'm on Facebook. You can City of Dawn, not like Don Pepe restaurant, that Mexican restaurant. It's not Dawn. It's Dawn. It's DAWN. It's sunrise. City of Dawn. Facebook. SoundCloud. Bandcamp. I'm on. I'm selling physical copies, so you want to grab one. It's on Bandcamp. And Spotify and everything else. I mean, yeah. I'm on every social media. Twitter. I'm going to get in Twitter.
You're on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, yes, YouTube, and I forgot something else. iTunes.
I don't know. This is your music.
I forgot. I was like,
He looks at me like iTunes.
I'm just shitting on you or whatever. Okay. I was gonna say I have my own webpage. I'm on cityofdawn.bandwoozle, or I don't know. I just registered like a website just for the heck out of it, because in the future, what if I need it for future references or whatever? And yeah, I'm there. Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Facebook, anywhere. And hopefully I do more shows here in Austin, Dallas, hopefully. So yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know, man. All support to the local artists.
Yup. This is why we do this.
Let them know where you're at, Freddy.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Freddy G. And I did want to, because I forgot last time, I did want to mention that I do have a show coming up on... Fuck, where am I? Oh, yeah. I have a show coming up on October the 20th in Brownsville at... Help me out. What's the club called there?
Talking about Ice House?
There's only one, isn't in Brownsville?
Oh, fuck, man. I don't know. I don't go down to Brownsville often enough.
Where did you go last time?
Ice House.
Was Carlos there?
Yeah, that wasn't the one Carlos was running, but that was...
But does he usually run them there?
No, I cannot remember what the name... Kraken Lounge? Is that...
That shit. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. I'm a comedian. I'm not a fucking promoter. Yeah, I have a show on the 20th in Brownsville at the Kraken. If y'all want to come through, I appreciate the support. It shows doors open at 8, shows at 9:30. But get there before, because I'm not the headliner. Of course, if you want to see me, if you want to see everybody else, get there at 9:30. I'll be opening for somebody. Don't ask me who.
Who?
All this love for the craft, Freddie. You can find me at Hatfield Stand Up on Facebook, Twitter, something else I don't remember, but you can reach out and get in touch with me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com. Of course, you can find the audio version of this podcast at shoutengine.com/bouncing brains. We are Bouncing Brains on YouTube and Twitter, I think, and we're Bouncing Brains Podcast on Facebook. And we have a group. Again, you can get in there and tell us how much you enjoyed the hell out of Damien's thing, or you can get on there and tell us to never have musical guests again. Whatever. I will ignore you, probably. But
I'll definitely ignore you.
in all seriousness,
you want to... Yeah, besides that, this is slow, boring music. So.
This was... no, it's definitely not boring, bro. It's... this was, I want to remind everybody, this was our first experience for all of us in here. It's the first time that we actually record a live performance on our podcast. We told y'all before we want to kind of do this podcast differently. This is the first step. I'm not sure if it was the first step in the right direction or in the wrong direction. We'll figure that out.
It's like the dancing bear. Don't be impressed about how well he dances, just the fact that he dances at all.
Pretty much.
You did a pretty good job. I mean, I'm glad you're doing it, trying to experiment the different ideas. I really love that. I really love how you're bringing more. Hopefully, you'll enjoy more musical artists.
We didn't exactly choose the easiest of setups for our first try, but I think this was a bit of a stress test. This was like, hey, man, if we can get this to sound good on the video,
it's fine. Yeah.
But thank you, man. Thank you. We're really trying to have this and set this up differently, give also a different look and a different perspective over the whole podcasting thing. We don't want to follow the norm of every other podcast.
Right, you want to do,
And I just do want to throw it out there for the people watching and listening. Mm-hmm. There's more creative shit coming, so we're just trying to figure it out. So, but this is one of other things that we want to do with the podcast. So, thank you.
Even though we don't say it often enough, much appreciation to those of you that are still watching or listening at this point. But
we appreciate all two of you motherfuckers. So,
don't. Hey, look, we got quite a few of you following us on Facebook, and again, much thanks for that. For those of you that are subscribed on YouTube, or if any of you are subscribed through Shout Engine for the audio version of the podcast, thank you very much. We would like we could use some more subscribers. So if you have listened to this, if you are listening to this and you have not subscribed yet, we would ask you genuinely, heartfeltly, please subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Tell your family.
Tell your friends, your family, your mom, your grandma, your wife, your side girl, everybody. We can all agree that we can all get along for at least one podcast episode listen.
And also want to, besides from that, thank you guys for having me here. And also want to thank my biggest credit. Thank you. Special thanks. My family for supporting me in my dreams. I know they contribute some of their time, buying all this. It's a lot of hard work doing all this. And I want a big love and support from my family, friends, people from Austin, Dallas. This is hard work. This is hard work. And also touring with one of the legendary ambient. That's big. That's big, very big. So I want to thank you guys for, promoting the local arts, not just me, but local arts. And hopefully for them, the artists have more promotion and more exposure. That's only your guys' mission, just have more exposure, and hopefully, hopefully the podcast gains more subscribers and more listeners. I would try to share the living hell of the podcast. I would try to.
Hey man, appreciate the shares you have done so far.
I would try the living hell. Yes,
you're one that we did see that you would always share everything. So we appreciate that from you.
So if y'all can take anything away from this, know that we love you and we'd love to expose ourselves to you.
That came out wrong.
Sean
No, it
would
came
like
out exactly right.
Expose yourself.
Sean would
Damn.
like to expose himself to y'all. I would like to expose just my material. Is all the fuck I'm saying.
Is that what you call it?
But how you make expose yourself? Damn it.
Exhibitionism for life. Folks, it's been beautiful. Damien, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Freddie, I appreciate that you're a living human being, because if you weren't here, I don't know. I'd probably be doing this by myself.
Well, I'm a living human being on the outside.
Hey, like we said, man, I'm a bit of a solipsist, man. So it's very possible that everything is just a recreation in one of our brains.
That's fine. I'm
Might
not
be yours.
I'm not a
listening at
solipsist
home.
because I don't know what the fuck that means, but Sean is. But
I learned big words so I can say simple shit. Folks, thanks again. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much.